What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Well, UFC 258 is going to feature a mega event, or I should say a mega main event that's going to have the UFC welterweight champion of the world, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman, facing off against Gilbert Durinho Burns. Now, there was a little bit of cause for concern as the weigh-ins happened this morning. See, Gilbert weighed in at 170 pounds, right on the nose to make championship weight, while Kamaru Usman stepped on the scales and was at 170.5, a half a pound over championship weight, thus making it a non-championship weight for him. Well, he took off that crazy mask. If you've been watching the UFC events, especially the pay-per-views, they typically have like this really militaristic looking mask. And it's pretty bulky, and apparently when he removed that, he took off his socks, he got on the scale, he absolutely made weight, 170 on the dot, and he looked absolutely great, very ripped. Now, a little bit of backstory on these two individuals. They were training partners, they were teammates in South Florida. And then Usman left, prior to this camp, going to go train with Trevor Whitman, in Colorado. Now, Usman was asked about that, and he stated that he had already made plans to eventually transition to another camp, that this was not because of the Gilbert fight, that he had wanted to do this several fights ahead of time, that he basically wanted to fine-tune himself, and I guess Trevor Whitman is that individual to fine-tune him. Now, as far as, these two individuals squaring off, well, this was originally supposed to happen in July. And Gilbert tested positive for COVID-19 and had to be pulled out of the fight, but they still wanted the fight to continue, so they got Jorge "Gamebred" Masvidal to fill in on short notice. And the fight started, and it looked like Usman wasn't going to be doing too well in the fight. Jorge definitely was the better striker. Now, obviously, understanding that he was, not the best striker in the fight, he had to change his game plan, and he started utilizing wrestling. He got very dominant, or he was very dominant, and he scored a 5-round decision victory over Jorge "Gamebred" Masvidal to retain his title. Now, Gilbert and Usman were set to face off again at UFC 256 in December, but then that fight was pulled once again. And this time it was stated that Kamaru would not be ready in time for that fight. I guess this gave Gilbert the opportunity to watch Competitive Origin MMA videos. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you can be notified on a daily basis when these videos go live. And don't forget to hit the like button on this video. Now, Kamaru's coming into this fight with a 13-fight UFC win streak. He's had 2 title defenses, and he is the betting favorite. While the underdog Gilbert has a 6-fight UFC streak, so he's not doing too bad for himself either. His most recent victories were against Damian Maia, which the fight seemed pretty even. But then, he let his hands go and he caught Damian, and that led to him getting the TKO victory. So that really put him on the map for me because, wow, he just kind of like got Damian out of there. Not everybody just gets Damian out of there. Now, as far as Tyron Woodley was concerned, I thought Tyron, was going to bounce back. I thought we were going to see the Tyron of old. And Tyron looked like he was ready to throw with him. And then once Tyron got cracked by Gilbert, Tyron went into survival mode. And, Gilbert displayed his jiu-jitsu ability, his wrestling. He just had him on the ground, and he just really showed that he was the superior fighter and scored a 5-round decision victory. Now, going into that July fight, that's where I kind of thought, all right, Gilbert might have what it takes to beat Kamaru. And he has the power, which is displayed in his last 2 fights, his wrestling ability, which he's displayed against Tyron. So maybe this might be the guy to derail, the Usman championship train, DC had spoken recently and talked about these 2 are training partners. They know who got the better of the exchanges when they were training. And that's honestly 100% true. Now, Gilbert talked a little bit about it, and he said that, based on the training, based on these guys working together, he thinks it's a 50-50 chance, right? But because he's been able to work with his teammates that have also trained with Usman as well, this gives him the advantage, and he definitely feels that he can submit him. But, to me, that's a little bit cause for concern. It's like you trained with this individual. You know whether or not you can beat him. Either you can or you can't. The fact that you have to rely on training partners to give you that advantage, I totally understand. And absolutely, it can give you the advantage. But you have to realize this isn't going to be the exact same Usman that left the camp. You know, Usman is training with Trevor now, and now he's adding a whole nother skill set. He's refining everything. He's going to be an improved fighter for when you step in the octagon with him. So that makes me go, okay, well, Usman's talking about he is the better fighter all around. He says he might not be the best striker, he might not be the best this, but when you put everything together, he is better. And I saw this video that Gilbert had posted, and it was like Usman basically showing him the ropes on wrestling. And it's like, okay, so he's helping you with your wrestling ability. Who's going to help you be better than him, honestly? You know, and it's like, all right, well, now that's starting to make me worry because Usman's not saying it was 50-50, you know? Gilbert is, which makes me think, okay, was it really 60-40 Usman? Was it really 70-30 Usman? But you're saying it's 50-50. You know, why aren't you saying that you were the one that was superior in this training camp, which makes me, like I said, have cause for concern, while we have Usman, who's very confident and is saying that he is going to go in there and beat this individual. There's no friends in the octagon, and he will see to it that when he steps in, he will get this victory. Now, when you looked at Usman's fights, you know, against Colby Covington, he was the better striker. You know, apparently the wrestling, you know, he didn't have to go down to the wrestling because obviously Colby was going to be a tough wrestling challenge, you know, and I guess maybe these two equaled each other out, and he just relied on the striking ability. You know, when it came to Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, he tried to do the striking, and that wasn't working out for him, and then he had to rely on the wrestling. When we look at the Tyron Woodley fight, you know, with Tyron, he, you know, dominated, you know what I mean? He used his wrestling ability and then started landing strikes. So, you know, I think, you know, at the end of the day, Usman is just such a dominant fighter. And hearing, you know, the words from Gilbert saying it was 50-50 makes me say, all right, well, maybe it wasn't 50-50, you know, because Usman's not saying that. Now, does Gilbert have a chance in this fight? Absolutely. I think Gilbert can definitely land the KO. I think he can submit him, but I'm not saying the submission is likely. If Damian Maia wasn't going to submit, you know, Usman, I don't see Gilbert having a great chance on submitting him. It's still possible, but I'm not saying it's a great chance. But I do think he can land the TKO or the KO, whichever it may be. Basically, get the knockout. I think it's definitely possible. But if I had to put my money on it, I would say Usman is going to out-wrestle this guy and get the dominant victory. You know, now this could be a great fight and go all the way to the end. That Colby fight and him, it wasn't domination. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, it was a draw going into the fifth round as the judges had it. You know, one judge had it, you know, for Colby, one judge had it for Usman, and the other judge had it dead in the middle. You know, so this could be one of those fights where it goes to the end, but, you know, Usman's wrestling is far, you know, is, let me not say far superior than Gilbert's. I say, because I don't know, I haven't seen them wrestle yet, you know, to one another, but I can definitely say his wrestling is on another level. Now, whether Gilbert has stepped up his wrestling to meet Usman on that level is the question. But I'm going to say Usman will get the victory at UFC 258. And that's my prediction. Go to the comment section below and let me know who you think is going to win this fight. I say Usman by 5-round decision victory. How do you guys see it going? Do you see there being a stoppage? Do you think Gilbert's going to get the victory? Do you think Usman's going to get the victory? Do you think somebody's going to stop one another? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to go to competitiveorigins.com. Type in promo code MMA81 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins Get It Done t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm BPC, and remember, you've been competing since conception, whether you're competing against yourself or others. Competitive Origins.